Hello friends, Jennifer Pearson here, Thistle Gypsy, and I need to do an update, a power animal update. I'm not going to pull cards, but I might look and see if some of these animals, I'm sure the elephant is in here somewhere. So these cards are just out for me to play with while I talk. And I think this will be brief because I'm really busy right now, and in fact, I probably won't be able to upload this until on the other side of some things. But I wanted to sit down and record the experience that I had. And now I don't even remember if it was today or yesterday. I think it was last night. Or maybe not. Maybe it was the middle of the day today, but that tells you where I'm at. In any case, it has to do with power animals and power animals in the chakra. And about a month ago, I did well, I was watching something on YouTube in which somebody was, and I don't remember her name, maybe Sonia Grace. She's recently created a new Norse-based oracle deck. Anyway, she did a meditation in which she had everybody do a kind of sit with each of the chakras and get a power animal for each of the chakras. And that's the first time I've seen somebody do that, other than I've had it happen to me. But that's the first time I've seen somebody kind of in the spiritual community do that, tell people that they have a power animal in each chakra. And in fact, I did a video on it, but it was long and rambly, and I thought, you know what, I'm just not going to upload that. Didn't feel like there was any purpose to it. It was too rambly. But I'm going to tell you now the power animals that came up for me, just very briefly, just a rundown. And then I'm going to tell you what happened today, which was a really weird shift. So, in the base chakra, I had the groundhog. In the sacral chakra, I have a paint horse of a paint color. And so it's a red and white. In horse parlance, it's a medicine hat type of a stallion. So, and it was always very mild-mannered. It was just in there grazing in that sacral chakra. Actually, I think when it first showed up, it was stompy and did some things. But for the most part, for like a year, whenever I check in, that's what's been in my sacral chakra. And it's very calm and just grazing and not doing much of anything. In my solar plexus chakra, I had a chipmunk. In my heart chakra, I've had a frog, and I think I've had a frog in my heart chakra, maybe in my throat, but heart chakra for a while now. And I'm not taking advantage of these power animals. And maybe that's why I had this shift today. And then in my throat chakra, a snow leopard, which has been there for quite some time. And then in my third eye, a hawk or falcon. And then in crown chakra, kind of as per a long time, mountain goat. So, those were fine. I thought the chipmunk and the groundhog, especially the chipmunk in the solar plexus chakra, was a little interesting. At one time I had badger there, so and the badger felt more right than a chipmunk, but hey, I'm not going to knock chipmunks. I like them. So what happened today, yesterday, whenever, beyond time, was I had been watching some horse videos, like I do sometimes. I get into horse kick and I'm watching people who are training horses or jumping horses, which is something I did in the past. And then and it was a variety. I was just on a bit of a horse video kick, enjoying them, what people are doing with horses these days. And I guess that's it. Okay. And I was and then I had to take a nap. I had to lay down because I've had some Lyme issues, Lyme disease issues. So it's like, you know what, I can't keep doing this. I need to really rest. I need to turn things off and I need to go lay down. So I went and I laid down and I thought, well, while I'm laying down here, and I've been watching the horse videos and I feel like I've been needing to get in touch with some of the power animals in my chakra. So I just sort of, opened the door to horse, in the sacral chakra. And it came out like a bucking, how they will strike out with their front legs, doing a lot of that. So it was highly agitated. And I felt that it wanted, what came across is that my horse was wanting to move into the solar plexus chakra. That's what I was getting out of it. And I can't even, did it actually, this is why I'm recording this, is I'm already losing it. And I think it was like palomino colored, so it's almost like it changed color to go into the solar plexus chakra. Or it was using color maybe to cue me. It's like, hey, no, I'm moving stations. And what that actually means, I don't know. I think I did go through horse here and just went right on by it. So it's like horse moved to the solar plexus in a very dramatic way. And I was very tired and I thought, well, okay, like I don't care. um that's all very fine, and wasn't thinking very much about it and was starting to just I got tired now. To say, all right, well, that's something that's interesting, and I will focus on that another time, because I could feel I was starting to drift. And I needed to let myself go to sleep. I wasn't expecting anything that dramatic to happen. It's like, all right, well, I don't have the energy for drama. And as I closed my eyes and started to drift, which is when, to me, I'm kind of in that shamanic state. And I looked out from my consciousness at me, and it was an elephant eye. That's what it was. An elephant eye looked at me. And that's pretty much all it was. It became fairly defined, but it was just the eye. But it was very recognizable because of the skin around it, that it was an elephant eye. And I thought, oh my God. And it immediately was that was in my third eye chakra, was this elephant. And that was like, I don't know what to do with an elephant in my third eye chakra. I've had the hawk there forever. Ever since I started doing that, I've had the hawk there. So it means I'm hawkless, which is its own identity thing with me, because I am identified more by others, my sister in particular, with hawk, and when I used the medicine cards, hawk would come up for me constantly. So the two animals that I would say in general I'm most identified with, power animal wise, spiritually, I love horses, but I don't think of myself as horse necessarily. But bear and hawk, those I've been very connected to. So it is weird for me to be hawkless. And I'm never bearless, because I feel like bear is underlying everything. So I ended up with an elephant in the third eye, and not knowing quite what to do with elephants in that position. And maybe these are all things that are sort of to shock me into starting to pay attention and revisit my chakras. But it was kind of shocking. It was like, and then, but what do? I was kind of falling asleep, but I was just sort of realizing it as I was falling asleep, and let it be. And then I slipped into there was a rabbit. Then there was a rabbit that was running like rabbits do, with quick turns. At first I wasn't even sure what it was, but it was something darting and making really quick changes, and it was a rabbit. And I think the rabbit was in my heart. I was kind of like, are you in my throat chakra, or are you in my heart chakra? But it's in my my heart chakra area. And I no longer remember what, if anything, ended up in my sacral chakra, or if I ended up with nothing in there. And my throat chakra, I didn't check in with. I kind of wondered, these things happen very quickly. So it's like I went up and was like, okay, but just trying to kind of vaguely touching base with each of the chakras. Like, well, what the hell else is going on here? And the crown chakra is even, and I loved the mountain goats. But anyway, there's more of an ibex, and I was hoping to find an ibex. So the ibex have these humongous horns, way out of proportion to their body size. So that's what I seem to have up in my crown chakra, was this ibex just standing there. And then in my root chakra, there seemed to be a baby buffalo. And interestingly, and I just am realizing this now, today, just, I don't know, an hour ago or hour and a half ago, I was watching I wasn't even intentionally watching videos. It's like I need to take a break from things for a second. Brought up YouTube, and it showed me a video of a buffalo calf in Yellowstone that was abandoned by its mother for a period. She had crossed a river. The newborn baby hadn't followed her, and it took a while for the mother to figure out what had happened, that the baby had been left behind, and that she needed to go back. And I wasn't even thinking about that connection. So that's why I have buffalo out here, and I've got rabbit, and I've got elephant. But I'm not aware of anything for either the sacral or my sacral chakra has been abandoned by the horse, and then I went kind of from that to the elephant, which I found really shocking. And I think part of me questioned why I found it shocking, and I think it's because for the most part I have had, except for like the snow leopard, I've had pretty much North American animals. And I think mostly animals that I have had actual encounters with to some extent. So, yeah, anyway, so there it is. It was, I've got some chakra power animal chaos going on, and I don't know exactly why. But I will say this. That yesterday I felt like I was coming down with a cold. I was pretty sure. I was doing all kinds of things to combat it once I started sneezing, and I have coped much better today, and am reasonably optimistic that I'm not going to catch it completely. There may still be some residue, like I may end up going through a coughing phase or something, but it should be relatively mild. I'm looking through here for the horse again, and I can't believe that there's not a horse. How could there not be a horse in an animal tech? In any case, there doesn't seem to be. Hippos. Now, I think at one time a hippo did peek up in my third eye, but didn't seem to remain there. Yeah, donkey, no horse. So that was my rationale behind the elephant being so shocking, was that it was from another continent. But that really doesn't, completely hold water, because the snow leopard has been around for a while. And looking at that picture of a hippo, I realized that at one point there was a hippo lurking around. But and other for interior work, full body work, as opposed to just association with the chakra. I've called on rhinos before, and I don't know if that if to what extent this shakeup was associated with feeling ill, and if there's and it had anything to do with my feeling better. But with all the yawning I've done here, I clearly need to go to bed, as well as the time telling me I need to go to bed. So we'll see. Again, I know that I really need to start spending some more time with my own energy work, energy system in my body, to be helping it, because I've had just too much, too many close calls, and repeatedly, and not completely healing despite help, in the form of antibiotics and stuff. So I need to start spending some time focusing on these things. All right, everybody, take care, and I don't know when you'll see me. You might see me right after this. I might end up again, I'm not going to be able to, I know this right now as I'm doing it, I'm not going to have time to actually upload this until I'm past a certain period in my work, and that means that I could very well upload this with a couple of other things. So again, time makes no sense here. Forget about time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.